So if you are running a blast furnace and chasing unexplained pressure spike, the erratic top gas temperature and constant hanging problem, you might be overlooking the single biggest hidden variable in your iron ore. It is not just iron content, it's not just size, it's LOI, loss on ignition. And today we are breaking down exactly how high LOI ores create chaos in your furnace and the science backed strategies to control it. Now, as you must be knowing, let's get a bit more technical. LOI is not just a moisture, it is the total mass loss when ore heated to 1000 degrees centigrade in air. Now, this comes from three sources. One, chemically bound water in mineral like goethite. Two, hygroscopic water clinging to surfaces. And three, volatiles like carbonate or organics. Now, what is the problem then? Then high LOI means your ore is carrying a chemical time bomb into the furnace. Now, coming to our next slide, which is full of information, and it shows that not all are equal. Goethite FeOOH is a main culprit, containing up to 10% LOI as structural water. Limonite and clay are problematic too. Compare that to premium hematite or magnetite with less than 3% LOI. The takeaway, your ore blends mineralogy dictate your LOI. Sourcing matter, a high goethite ore from Goa at 6% LOI behaves completely differently than a Brazilian hematite at 2.5%. So, look at the global data. Uh, Indian ores from Goa or JSW often runs 5 to 6% LOI. Chinese blend can hit over 7%. Meanwhile, premium supplier like Vale or Rio Tinto deliver consistent 2.5 to 3.5% LOI hematite. This is not just a quality metric, it's a direct input into your furnace stability equation. If you are blending high LOI ore for cost, you are trading capital for operational chaos. Here, where the most plant get it wrong, the standard ISO target for RDI, the reduction degradation index, is below 11.5%, but for high LOI ore, the standard firing temperature of 1330 degrees centigrade for sinter and pellet is a disaster. It causes thermal shock, crack form, RDI skyrockets, and the research is very clear. For ores LOI over 5%, you must drop the firing temperature to 1220. Why? Because the combined water decomposes at 327 degrees centigrade, creating internal steam pressure. Lower firing minimizes magnetite and FeO formation, preserving strength. This one adjustment can cut your furnace fines generation by 20%. So we must have to have a very judicious decision on this front, that what is to be the balance. Now let's quantify the damage. For LOI below 2.5%, RDA excellent, only 6 to 8 plus 6.3 mm breakdown. At 4 to 5.5% LOI, you are in marginal zone, that is 11 to 13% breakdown. Above 5.5% LOI, you are at 14 to 16%. That's poor. Every 1% increase in LOI can increase fines generation in upper stack by roughly 10%. 10% is a good number. Now, this is not linear, it is exponential due to renegotiation, and these fines collapse your voidage and your furnace pressure goes through the roof. Now, coming to the here the fascinating uh, twist. The high LOI is not all bad. If you control it, the released water vapor acts as a reducing agent. S2 react with coke gas, CO to form S2 and CO2. Hydrogen reduction is faster and occur at lower temperature than CO reduction. Studies show high LOI ore can lower the thermal reserve zone temperature by 150 degrees centigrade. Nippon Steel case study proved that combining high LOI ore with high reactivity coke and carbon containing pellet dropped the thermal reserve zone to 820 degrees centigrade. So cutting coke rate and CO2 emission by almost a good margin per ton of hot metal. What is the key? Then you must engineer the entire system around the alloy, not fight it. So the damage starts before the furnace. High LOI weakens the cold crushing strength of sinter and pellet below 2.5% LOI. CCS robust at 290 to 310. Uh, Above 5.5% it dropped to 220 to 40. Often below 250 target. So weak pellet break during handling, creating fines at stockhouse. And remember, every 1% drop in tumbler index increase fine generation by 10% before the ore even hit the bell. Now coming to the real world proof, a plant using hygroscopic Goa ore with 6% LY fixed a huge problem. Top gas temperature variation of plus minus 10 to even more, erratic burden descent and wild hot blast sensitivity. Their solution, they replaced 10% of high LOI ore with a low LOI sinter. Just a 10% replacement increased productivity by 2% and dropped coke rate by 1%. Why? Sinter has 2 to 3% LOI. It stabilizes the burden, improves permeability, and gives the furnace back its predictable thermal profile. So here is your action plan. First, test your ore blend. What's its true LOI and not just iron content. Second, optimize firing temperature based on LOI. And third, consider strategic blending with the sinter or pellet to dilute high LOI ore. And fourth, if you are using high LOI ore engineered for it, use high reactivity coke to harness the hydrogen reduction benefit. LOI is not just a number on a specific seat. It's the difference between stable, efficient furnace and a daily battle with uh, pressure and handling. Understand